So if you were to tell me that I will come here and tell you about the books that I won't read because, I don't know, you're just going to see the reason in a minute, right? If you were to tell me that I was about to tell you that I won't read some popular books, and especially popular book talk books, yeah, let's just dive into it because probably you're keen right now to know why. And I see, especially on Book Talk or Bookstagram or BookTube, books that are overhyped, that are sad. Why would you read a sad book? Do you like pain? Why? But this is my truthful list of the books that I won't read ever. Boys of Tommen series, and yeah, one of my besties is actually reading Boys of Tommen, and I was like, hey dude, I'm not going to read this because it's sad. And I was like, why would you read a book that is sad? And again, if I'm saying why would you read a book or why would you do something, it doesn't mean that I'm doing it in a judgmental way. And this is like a huge disclaimer for the entire video. I am not insulting anyone. I'm not trying to say something in like a bad way, but like it's just my opinion, and it's just my opinion and how I'm viewing stuff. And as much as I support everyone reading whatever the heck they want and whatever the heck they want to do with their lives, I also appreciate if you would respect my things that, hey, I wouldn't read this because X reason and that's it, you know? Of course, sure, if you're going to tell me in the comments your idea or you thought that the series is going to be sad and eventually it didn't end up being sad, maybe, I don't know, you're going to convince me also to read it. But until further notice, Boys of Tommen is just on the sad note, and I know it's sad because also, as I told you before, my bestie is reading it, and she said she doesn't know why certain characters are like breaking up and then are like sad and whatever and wrenching her heart, and I'm like, I'm just enjoying my happy assassin weird kind of books that I'm reading. I'm reading currently as I'm shooting this video. This is going to be done in advance, but in the moment I'm reading Throne of Glass. I'm just stuck in my fantasy world and everything. And also I'm not really a fan of the super cheesy, super kind of romancy stuff, really high schooly romance or like high school sweethearts. So this was also a kind of a no for me because I was like, okay, it's sad. I mean, sure, some sadness thoughts or like some sadness not in any depressive way or something negative that will affect your health or mental health, but like some sadness because your favorite character, like book character or movie character, they just died. It makes up to the plot. It's a really plot thickened way of saying something else through their death or developing the further plot, or I just love those. But this one, I know on purpose it's like sad, and I was like, okay, so it's sad and it's also super romancy and super cheesy. I'm just sorry, I just love everyone that loves reading it, but I think I will skip it. And also on the sad part, it's another one, A Little Life. Same thing. Why would I want to read a sad book? I want to have fun, to read about an epic adventure, something like really that will mark my childhood and also adulthood in like a good way, not in a sad way. And I was like, okay, I'm just not going to read A Little Life because everyone who wanted to read this book told me that it was hella sad and they regretted it. Then we are having The Cruel Prince. Now you're going to hate me, you're going to skip the video, you're going to exit the video and you're going to throw shade or hate or whatever. Back with The Cruel Prince, I read it when I was 16, so way 10 years back. When I'm telling you that it felt really 5th grade-ish written, and I'm not a native person, by all means, I don't really have kind of a judgment or something in native, but I was like, wow, feeling like this is written by a high schooler or something, so this would literally be worse for natives. And then I talked to also some natives that didn't like The Cruel Prince also because it was childish written or blah blah. And then I tried again a few years later at, I don't know, early 20s, and again I DNF'd it. Maybe it was in the back of my mind that it's going to be childish written or something like that, and I was like, okay, you know what, I'm just not going to do this again, and I've never picked up ever since. So yeah, this is in the I'm not going to read pile. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying this video, because for sure you're going to find something either bookish related or gaming related, because I'm doing both of them, and for sure you're going to have fun with me. And the last two on this list, I was actually really excited about them, and I felt that they were overhyped, and one of them is overhyped in a wrong way. Not necessarily wrong way, but it's overhyped in a sense of, oh my god, people are loving it because it's this thing, but it's not. The book that I'm telling you about, it's I, Medusa. And I, Medusa, I was like so hyped for the Greek mythology and for a book and for someone that wrote about Medusa. But yeah, I don't know how many of you know about Greek mythology and the Roman pantheon, but Ovid, that poet that wrote the Roman pantheon, he explained everything in a different way. So basically, he took all the gods with all the powers, he put a brand new name on them, just like Athena is Minerva, and like Medusa is still Medusa, which is kind of weird. Anyways, and then they're having the names with the planets. But when I'm telling you that they did them dirty, so we are having this Greek mythology where everyone fights for a reason, everyone does something for a reason, everyone, it's like their mythology, it's what they grew up into. And I've been to Greece multiple times until I know the mythology are the things that they are learning in high school. And also I talked to a Greek when I was having the Bookstagram back in, I don't know, before 2020. I talked to a Greek girl. We connected over the Greek mythology and tales and myths and everything related to that, even books. And I remember her telling me that for them mythology is like really important because it's folklore and everything that they're having, and some of them are misinterpreted, and especially they were misinterpreted and changed in the Roman pantheon. And Medusa, as you know, or if you don't, I'm just going to explain it right now. In the Greek pantheon, Medusa is born a gorgon, which is basically a monster, but is not a monster because they were seeing her as a beauty, as someone that can be loved. And if she didn't want to be loved about a certain person, she had the hair that was like super curly and something just like mine. And basically she had the hair into snakes and like in a very wavy form or something, and they were like making up the hair, and she could turn everyone that was looking at her in a wrong way or something, or just because she wanted to, because she was powerful and because she was fierce and because she was doing whatever she pleased. She was turning everyone into stone. So that's basically it. And then it's like the story with like Zeus, how he killed her, and how Zeus, like, he had a shield and the shield was a mirror, and then when she used her power, she remained with the skull and with her hair, everything in Zeus's shield. And she was one of the 3 Gorgon sisters, so there were actually another 2 Gorgons, and like a Gorgon was a species. And in the Roman pantheon, guess what? She was a victim because she was this lady who's human. First of all, she was not a Gorgon. She was cursed to be a Gorgon just to protect her. And also she was cursed by Athena because Athena was kind of protecting her abuse, because Poseidon was the dude that molded her. And because she was like really pretty, Athena turned her hair into snakes so that the snakes would turn everyone that she looked at her into stone. And it was a curse. And I was like, why would a dude from the Roman pantheon? It kind of looks like, and I also made a dispute on a subreddit about the Greek mythology, especially on this part with the Medusa and how she's depicted in the Roman pantheon. A lot of people really empathize with what I felt, because how can you tell me that you're doing the woman on woman thing? Because it was like Athena is protecting her, but no, she's cursing her because she was also in love with Poseidon, and this was like kind of the getaway and the only chance that she had. And if she didn't turn her into a Gorgon, she wouldn't have any chance with Poseidon. And I'm like, that's so fucked up. So basically you're just turning up the tale from her being a powerful species and a fierce species that literally battled Zeus. And of course she lost, but anyways, she battled Zeus. Like, not everyone gets to battle Zeus and also resist for a bit, right? And I was like, how can you turn this beauty and this unique creature into a victim of an abuse? And also telling me that being women on women with Athena is just protecting her and also cursing her because of what Poseidon did. And I was like, what is this? What is this? When I read the blurb in which Medusa is this wonderful creature that she overcame the curse and then she wants to stomp on Athena's head, I won't read it. And I was so disappointed because I like mythologies, I like Norse mythology, I like Greek mythology, I'm like a super fan of any mythology, and I would love for people to understand the difference in between Roman and Greek mythology. That Ovid dude just didn't. He didn't care, and I was like, okay, amazing, and I'm just not going to read that. And then also did a debate with my bestie that reads Boys of Talmud, and I was like, hey dude, look, I'm not going to read this because this is based on that idea on the Roman pantheon. And she was like, oh my god, no wait, this is so fucked up. And I was like, you get me now. But thankfully the subreddit Greek mythology people agreed with me, and I suddenly feel not alone anymore. And another book that I was excited about, and I DNF'd at 10%, is Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by V. Schwab. It's like her latest book. Everyone raved about it. Everyone raved about vampires, like it's toxic, it's lesbian, it's sexy. Nothing happened at 10%. I'm having a rule. If nothing happens in 3 chapters, and for me it's not really getting, not necessarily to get into action, but because I know there are also slow burn books, but like if nothing really happens, they're just going and going and walking and walking. It's a bunch of nonsense dialogue with some characters that they are not even presented and you just don't even know. And it was multiple POV in between 3 women. No, it was 2 women, and I didn't have the details who they were. I didn't know why they were there. I didn't know what the hell was happening to them. And at the point of 10%, I read at least 3 chapters with each. I was like at chapter 6 or 7 by that time, and I was like, okay, this is going like literally nowhere. And I don't blame it on being like the wrong book at the wrong time. Maybe I just didn't like it. Maybe it wasn't for me. But also I didn't blame it as, oh my god, no, it's just purely unenjoyable, just don't read it. No, because I know multiple people that loved it, told me that it was a 6 stars and it was like the best book that they read in 2025. See, I don't really see the same. I didn't really see eye to eye with the people that told me, oh, you should wait, because usually I don't hate read, and usually if I'm feeling like something is not working, I'm not trying. I'm just letting it to rest. If I feel like picking up again, I will pick it up again after, I don't know, a few months, maybe 1 year. If I'm not, I'm just not going to read it ever. And it went by half a year and I just don't feel like I will ever read it again because it was slow and I really got easily uninterested in it. That's pretty much it. And this was for today's video. For sure I'm going to have a lot of books or popular book talk books or just popular books in general that I won't read. And let me know down in the comments below if you like this type of video. Maybe I will do a part 2 when I will make my list longer or something like that. But until then, happy reading or happy playing, and I'll see you in the next Thursday and soon on Sundays with the Sunday series. So make sure to hit that notification bell for announcements. Goodbye.